Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 466 at scavengerlife.com.
I learned two things last week from what we talked about. Number one is that it seems like a lot of sellers do like feedback, which is strange. I thought me saying that eBay's feedback is kind of old-fashioned, like you really don't need it.
You thought everyone would agree.
I thought, forget feedback. A lot of people, everyone that commented was like, I actually think feedback is good. Because I guess they're saying them as a seller, they want
good feedback.
They want good feedback, and they want the bad feedback to like cull the bad sellers. Interesting.
Yeah, right? Well, yeah. I mean, I buy stuff on eBay, and
I just don't know if that's really how. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, on
is
eBay,
that how people decide?
I don't look at somebody's feedback. Do you?
I look at the percentage. If you're buying a commodity item and the percentage is 95% or something, I mean, they're eventually going to get kicked off.
Right.
But if there's a low percentage, I mean, I'm not going to buy from them. I'm going to pick someone else.
And that is interesting on eBay where the percentage is like 95 is considered bad. You're like, oh, that seems pretty good. No, it's really bad.
Yeah,
but like on Amazon, I don't look at people's
Amazon,
percentage.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I guess my whole point was because now there are very clear systems in place where if you buy something online from eBay or Amazon or most places, there is a built-in protection where if you don't like that item, you can return it.
Right. Or if it's damaged.
If it's like not what you thought it was.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Nope, that's true.
But anyway. And then the other thing is that a lot of sellers really like free shipping, which again, I thought, it's...
You mean to sell with free shipping?
Well, yeah.
Both.
To sell with, I think everyone loves free shipping, but most people seem to be defending it as like something good. With free shipping though, there were in my people that were like, it's not really free.
Yeah,
and I'm on that side,
Well, what did they call it? They called it like shipping included.
Right.
There you go, shipping included. Yeah. So that's different.
And I only bring it up because I see the value of it. I'm like, what if we could just do free shipping? It's like a psychological boost for buyers because they see, this is my one.
This is the price.
This is the price out the door. It's simple. And can we build that in? And I keep trying to do it for our kind of inventory. And I run across two things. Number one, we have such a varied inventory. We can't say, everything will go in a poly mailer so it can be X dollars. And number two, we don't have the kind of inventory where if we did free shipping, we would get like that burst of volume.
Yeah.
Because it's just, single items that are different from each other. Not like I have 200 of these things.
Yeah.
These iPhone cases.
They ship the same every time.
I'm going to ship 10 of these a day now.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Anyway. So this week, and this podcast isn't about me. It just happens to be my birthday this week.
It was your birthday on Thursday.
Yep, I turned 47 years old. So if you've been with this podcast now
for a while,
you're seeing us grow old.
Yeah. Well, my birthday's next week.
Yeah,
or whenever, I don't know, sometime soon.
Yeah, the 14th.
Oh 17th. My actual God.
No, the week of the 14th, the 17th.
Wow.
The 17th.
Everybody heard that, right? Yeah. Jay's terrible with dates. He's like, what day's Christmas? The 25th of December. Every year it's the 25th? Yes. That's you.
And people's names as well. I'm very bad at people's names unless I meet them a lot.
A million times.
Many times.
Yep.
Yeah, but you, I think, were more like, oh my God, I'm getting old, we're getting old. I think it affected you more than it does me. Is that true? Age? As we grow older?
I don't know. Yes, probably.
Yeah.
I think it's weird to turn 40.
Yep.
I'm turning 41 next week, and it's one of those things I feel like with our generation where, just that number seems so strange to us because when our parents were that age, we're like, oh, they had like 5 kids.
Every generation is like that. Everybody, every generation is like that. Like, you're like 40 is like you're like an
you're
adult.
Like,
and you're like, you know,
and then you turn 40 and you're like, what?
I still feel like I'm 16 or I feel like I'm 17. It's just I have 30 years of experience being 17 years old.
But at the same time, if you really think back to that age, you're like, no, I don't actually feel like that at all. But I feel, you know, optimistic about, you know, what could happen and what we want to do.
I think, you know, I just think it's so kind of silly in our society how the stereotypical judging of age is like your parents, so you're judging by like wrinkles and like all that stuff.
Or just attitudes. And
to me, it's all about like this year, am I more comfortable in my own skin?
Right.
And the answer is yes. That's very valuable to me. Like I'm so much more comfortable with who I am now than when I was 17.
Right.
And that seemed almost unbelievable that could happen. And the other thing is like I guess like I do this thing where I look at people older than myself, and we live in a town that skews older, a lot of older people, so I love talking to them about their lives. I'm really surprised at how many older people seem surprised by their life, you know?
Yeah.
Like
that's interesting.
That their life happened to them. Like they seem surprised to be where they are and who they are in like kind of a negative way, you know?
Like I thought it would be different.
Or something. And I don't so every year that I grow older, I just don't want to be, you know, things happen that surprise you. Yeah. But not to be able to handle it. I'm sure there are older people hearing this who are like, you just wait till, you know, that happens. Yeah. You know, and the other thing is like every week, people that hear this, we do our numbers, right? Yeah. I also think it's funny just how in some ways it's very helpful for us to kind of, you know, boil our life down to a number, you know?
You mean an age?
No, well, their age, but just like a number for like the money we need.
Right, sure.
To make, like really, like that's it. And it seems like, is that the measure of my life?
Oh
like
my! I have so many thoughts.
Like
about
as
this.
Like as I get older, I mean, like that's the society we're in.
It is.
This is capitalism. If you don't got the money, they're going to come get you.
Yeah, look, like I think about that a lot, especially because we're in this pandemic where basically the world economy got shut down. And it really makes you think, like, that's it? That's all we're doing? We're just making money? And when we can't make money, we can't...
Right. Disaster.
I mean, it's just, it seems insane to me.
Like, you know, and so every week I don't really have... You know, we share the numbers we make on eBay, and, you know, for us, we need to make a certain amount of money so we can pay our mortgage in our life. But there's no, I mean, other than that, it's just all these philosophical stuff we talk about. That's the only other way to measure the good we do in the world or the things that are important to us. But there's no number for it. It's just like how you feel about life, I guess. You know? Yeah,
it's very existential. Yeah. I'll say that. Yeah, I mean that's just how I think of it.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but there was something very important that happened to me when I was about 20. Yeah. So I was in college, and you know it's that time of your life where you're figuring out like what am I doing with my life and all that. And I remember there was a moment. I can remember it clear as day. I'm sitting in this little apartment that I rented, and it was not a good time in my life. Yeah. And I remember thinking, because, you know, it's all about money, right? Like, what kind of career am I trying to learn for? You know, what school am I going to, and why am I learning this? And then I'll get this job and make money. And I just remember thinking, like, I am not going to worry about money, you know? And I remember that was a decision I had. I'm not going to worry about money. You know, I'll make the money I need to make, but I'm not going to worry about it after that. And that really freed me up. Yeah. for like my 20s.
Well, you mean the pressure of like career?
No pressure.
You must
I still worked hard.
Climb the ladder.
Right.
You were like, I'm not doing that.
I still worked hard. I didn't work a lot of great jobs, but I made the money I needed to make.
Yeah.
But I remember my thing was I'm just going to, just learn about life. I'm going to learn about it's myself, and that's really what my 20s were. I really. Yeah. That was before the two of us met. I really learned about myself. I had a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
That also shows I had a lot of privilege, too, that I
absolutely.
could do that.
Well, the fact that you're like, I'm not going to worry about money.
I didn't have kids.
Well, also, like, you're not going to worry about the pressures of a society saying you have to, like, go get a corporate office or, like, academic job.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm not going to do that. But also, I think what's interesting, too, is, like, you didn't grow up in an environment where that was something that was, like, normal. I did. Like,
what was normal?
To be like, I'm not going to have the pressure of a traditional job.
Right.
Like, that you came up with that, like, on your own, to, like, free yourself, basically. That's interesting.
It's true.
It frees your mind. Like, your mind is like, oh, okay, well, now that I made that decision, I'm just going to go about my day now and not.
Yeah, and I don't want to say, like, I was not a trust fund kid. Like, no one was giving me money, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
But those people who I think maybe find a little more, I don't know. At that time, it was more important to me to learn about who I was and to just figure out this life than to be like, what kind of job do I need to get so I can move up that corporate ladder?
Yeah, exactly. What kind of career?
Dude, I'm Gen X. Like, that is like the Gen X playbook, right?
Yeah, you're like, I decided along with everyone else my age.
And, and now that I'm older and we're together, money now is definitely a thing.
Well, sure.
But I think the way we try and talk about money is I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, I feel like we just talk about it where, like, there's a certain amount of money we need to make to live. Then any extra money we're just trying to spend on things we think are important. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's what I thought about turning 47 years old.
Yeah.
And having Subway sandwiches for dinner. It was good.
That was the extent of our birthday celebration.
Yeah.
We got Subway sandwiches 2 for $1.
Yep.
$6 dinner.
I know, it was good. $3 each. It was like the best.
Well, we got chips, so it was a little treat.
Splurge.
A little extra treat.
Now, okay, so I don't know if that was helpful to anybody or not. But anyway, so eBay, because that's why we're here.
Yep.
My cottage on the forum put a link to eBay is giving an extra shipping coupon to people that have a store subscription.
A coupon for shipping supplies.
Right. Which, we always get a quarterly coupon.
Yeah, it's once a quarter.
And how much do we get it for an Anchor store?
For Anchor, it's $150. It's quite a lot. Yeah. I mean,
it's like poly mailers and boxes and wrapping paper.
You get to pick stuff. Yeah. So I just stock up.
So they didn't say how much more they're going to give people.
And they didn't say when.
Right.
Because the third quarter starts July 1st. So you're kind of like, are we getting it now?
Right.
Are they going to... The thing about eBay sometimes is like, they'll send you a message, but it doesn't go through to your email. So it's just sitting in your inbox. And you're like, when am I going to see this?
Well, I don't think we even got a message, do we?
No, I'm saying, like, how are they going to... Are they going to send a message and hopefully it goes to my email? So I know.
It's a good thing.
I'll use it.
Yeah.
100%. You know what I stocked up on last time, and this sounds a little bit cheesy. I showed a picture of it in one of the thumbnails of the podcast. There are these little stickers that eBay made for last quarter, for second quarter, which said, "Thank you for supporting my small business."
Oh, really?
And it said eBay.
Wow.
I put that on every single package, especially right now, because you're like, hey, you're actually supporting like a really small seller.
Did they come free? Or?
No, it was part of the I bought them as part of the supply. But I would buy more of those. And actually, I thought when I run out of these, I might make my own just on sticker paper, because I think that's right now, especially with like the economy being shut down. You're like,
I think that's even cooler than we don't do it anymore. I don't think we would put these little like flyers
little flyer,
or whatever.
yeah. No, I don't do it anymore.
I think the sticker on the outside is cooler than the piece of paper inside, because when I open up a box, I
you just like throw it away.
I grab the thing.
I don't care.
Yeah, everything else I don't care about.
Yeah, I really like it. So I was like, I might make my own.
Yeah.
I don't know, like as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
But I thought, look, that's a really smart marketing idea that eBay should have had like in the beginning. Like that should always be their mantra. Like these are small sellers, these are small businesses. You're supporting like mom and pop sellers, especially during a pandemic. So I think that's kind of what that announcement is sort of trying to get at, you know.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's that guy that everyone's talking about.
Jordan.
He
like came back. He works at eBay and then he worked at Walmart.
Yeah.
But when he started working again, this is a couple of months ago before the pandemic, I think he had some quote on like the eBay Business Podcast or something where he's like, we're small independent sellers, like selling weird, unique, used, vintage items. That's what we're not Amazon. And, you know, everyone that we know, including most people listening to this, were like, finally, someone's saying that at eBay, you know? And that's... especially now, you know, that's the focus. Individuals buying from individuals, right? I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
Are you listening, eBay?
Well,
Jay's like, right on.
I'm like,
you're like, preach. Are you running for office
preach,
right now?
Sister.
Right?
Yeah, no.
Political office.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about our numbers.
Yeah.
So since 2008, Ryan, we have created a machine.
A super pipeline.
A pipeline. And this is something we talked about. And so we've created this pipeline where we put junk inside of it.
You turn a crank,
we add context to it.
Yes, you know? Yes, that's a very good point.
And then at the other end comes money.
In a bucket.
And that money buys us time.
Yep, it buys us time.
And with that time, we then just do
renovate buildings,
whatever we want to make our lives have some kind of meaning. And that really is ultimately, I just said it right there.
That's it.
That 1 minute pitch is basically the way we've developed our lives.
That's the meaning of life.
That's it. I mean, I don't know.
Goodbye existential crisis.
I have not figured out a better way to live in the American society than that way.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like, I'm still playing by the capitalistic rules.
Right.
Money is still a thing.
Yeah.
But it's buying us enough, like, psychic and spiritual feeling to...
So it's two things. Number one, the base amount buys us our time.
Right.
And then the extra buys us the ability to create meaning via real estate renovation in a small rural town.
Which happens to be...
like, that sounds insane, but that's actually what we're doing.
Yep.
So...
Yep. And every week, we need to make $1,000 gross. That is our freedom number. Which, by the way, that was like, it was this like real estate guy, and he was kind of, I don't know if he's a scammer or not, but his thing was, it was like, you know, buy cheap houses.
Okay. Yes.
Wherever, in crappy neighborhoods throughout the country, and then you just fix them up barely, and then you rent them for like $600 a week. Right. And then how many of these houses you need for your freedom number? It's so gross, but you know,
look, so many people do that. Like, I know people that do that.
But so. I get it. And then it turned out that anyway. So this week, we sold 38 items, and we sold $1,225.
Oh, that's more than I thought we did.
10 cents. Me too.
In 10 cents. There were some days that were like, oh, did we even? You know, by 5 o'clock, I'm like, did we sell anything today?
It did feel
What's going on?
Much slower. And,
Those
we
stimulus
sold
checks are
like
gone.
60 items a week ago. So we're
Right, so 38 feels low.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it was slow.
almost a half, yeah.
Although today, which doesn't count towards this week's numbers, it'll count towards next week's numbers.
Sunday to Saturday. Right?
Sunday to Saturday, right. So today we had a deluge of sales. Yeah. So next week hopefully is
7 items. So it's hard to say.
A deluge.
It feels like a lot. I mean, it's not even. It's barely noon.
There was a yes. Okay, so it's barely noon. So that's good. And there are some high dollar items that I'm like, ooh, an $85 sale.
So our pipeline is just like we're just like this. Come on, I'm like standing on the other end of the pipeline. My hands is out. And then little silver coins are falling out,
It's like little coins from Mario Brothers, the little gold coins. Ba-ching.
And things we sold, it was just a jumble of stuff. One thing, our biggest sale was this flatware, this mid-century flatware for $220.
Yes, so flatware, a.k.a. silverware, but it's stainless steel.
Yeah.
Like
but
forks and knives.
It was like a Nordic, I guess. It was like...
From Finland or something? I don't know. It was very Scandinavian from the 70s for sure.
Yeah, super cool. We've been waiting for it to sell. And
I still have some pieces of it.
And some guy in Australia, actually, this does not happen to us a lot. He went through our store.
Yeah.
And we had multiple, because, we bought a set of flatware.
I broke it up.
And we always break it up.
I don't always break up flatware, but this one was so bizarre because there were like different colors and there were only like certain, like one knife was this color. So I was like, I'm just going to break this up. Right. So,
but he went through and bought several lots. And
and with eBay Send, I was able to combine an invoice and combine shipping.
Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah. So.
And then we sold some vintage games, some like dice, whatever you call them, like a
D&D, like multiplayer,
role playing
games.
We sold two of those for $100.
Yeah, it was 50 each. So, see, he gave an offer. I had those up for like 80 or something.
Nice, just kind of
$100.
Interesting sales.
I'm ready. I'm ready to ship that all day long.
Yeah. And we sold quite a few clothes, but pretty low.
Pretty low dollar.
Man,
I was selling like $10, $7 tie.
Yeah.
Oh, will you take an offer of $7 for the... Yes, I will.
Ties.
Get it out.
We do not buy ties anymore. We're
Unless it's like Hermes.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Hermes, you mean?
If you're a white American.
Hermes.
Hermes.
Scavenge of the week. I bought a bunch of stuff at an online... Well, not a bunch of stuff, but I bought stuff at an online auction.
You bought it... It didn't seem like a lot, but it was.
So this online auction is like an hour and a half, 2 hours from where we live.
One way.
So, so it's so I'll like wake up at 6, get there, pick it up, and then drive back. So, we talked about this before. When I do these auctions, I know I got to go all in because I can't just win one thing. Yeah. But this time I only won 3 lots. It turned out to be one lot had several boxes of stuff.
Right, which was good.
But that's always the danger because once you're in, you got to really go in.
Because if you just win, a handful of things like 5 mirrors, and you're like, well, I'm going to drive there for 5 mirrors. That's crazy.
And I don't know if other people are buying, at online auctions, and these are auctions that are normally in person, but right now they're online. Just man, people are really bidding stuff up. It feels like it's either people that don't know how to, if they're buying to sell, the prices are getting too high where there's not enough meat on the bone, or your hypothesis has been like all the collectors
buying for themselves, and they're like, oh no, okay, $200 for that, and you're like, well, I'm not paying $200 for that, yeah, exactly.
But thrift stores I know in our area are slowly starting to open up. I mean, I don't think I've told you this. I went to at one of our local thrift stores.
You buy anything? You didn't buy anything?
I put on a mask. I didn't go buy anything. I just wanted to kind of
walk around.
A lot of people weren't wearing masks.
Oh my gosh!
It was whatever. It's fine.
Keep your distance.
But I didn't see. I was hoping there'd be
the best stuff.
The best stuff that hasn't been sold because they've been having time.
And you're like, nope, didn't see anything.
But we could start doing in person.
Look, I'll put
sales again.
I'll put a mask on and I will keep my distance. distance. And I have a little alcohol spray bottle in my purse, so if I feel like I need to clean my hands while I'm there.
I think everybody just has, their feeling of how much a risk they're willing to take.
Exactly.
And I think for me, it's about not being in crowded spaces.
Right.
Wearing masks.
Yes. Hand sanitizer.
Not being around people for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So
I stay home most of the time. Like I went into town to do something, but it was just around you and
Is that
outside.
any different from normal?
It's so funny. It wasn't yesterday. It was like the day before. I just was like doing stuff at home and like doing laundry and blah blah blah. And I'm like, this is normal. It feels a little bit sad, where you're like, oh, I could, normally I would like run into town and like say hi to my friend who works in an office. And you're just like, oh, they're not open,
Yeah.
But like you said, I think that it's important for people, because states are starting to slowly open up, depending where you are, to just do what you feel is right, because there are a lot of people not wearing masks. And if you feel comfortable wearing one, you absolutely should. Even if you're outside in the sunshine and the wind, if you feel like you have to wear a mask, then
we don't do that.
I don't.
Yeah.
But
it's just when we're around people in stores.
Yeah.
I mean, like in Virginia, we just entered phase 2 of the opening back up. I don't know the exact technical things, but we're just talking to a friend, and we're going to talk on July 1st, so 3 weeks from now, and see, is there more exposure now? And we're going to see a second wave? Because if there is a second wave, it should probably happen next month.
Yeah, within a month.
Is it just kind of the way it has been? Like, I've been keeping an eye on the virus numbers in our area. And
me too.
It's not like exponentially growing.
It's going down.
I mean, there's like 10 here, 2 here. I mean, it's kind of happening, but it's not like an explosion. Yeah. So we'll see. Just be safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Customer issues. So we finally had the issue that a lot of people have talked about with the post office.
Yeah, so I shipped something to San Francisco area. It took a long time. The tracking just said it got to San Francisco.
And the buyer was messaging us like, where is this thing?
And I'm messaging them saying there must be a delay.
And they're being patient.
Yeah.
And then finally the buyer actually forced our hand.
He opened a case item not received, and I was hoping, okay, the tracking's going to update. It's going to update. Didn't update.
Yeah.
eBay was like, okay, case closed. He must have been like, ask us to step in or whatever the next thing is, and they got refunded.
Full refund.
I mean, I bet it will get to them eventually. I think it's one of those, like, the warehouse in San Francisco is overwhelmed, and they're like...
But then it's really, at this point, the buyer can just keep it, like...
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to...
They can be honest and say something and pay us.
They probably won't do that, so...
And then we've gotten a couple of people starting returns.
Yeah.
I guess we have sold quite a bit the past month or so. So we finally, there's probably 3 or 4 returns that got started where the buyers are just like, I changed my mind, too small, doesn't fit, blah, blah, blah.
And and it stinks because they're like expensive items.
I know,
like one of them's a $70 pair of vintage eyeglasses.
Oh no.
It's like, oh gosh.
So we'll see if they actually ship them. I think those were shipped.
I think they were. So, but again, I try to be like, well, a lot of times when you relist something and someone was watching it should send them a message and people are like, oh, that came back, and they buy it. I've had that happen. So I got to just be like, okay, someone else will buy it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way we can be.
Yeah.
You know, just got to keep on working on our freedom number, Ryan.
Oh my God. She's like, yeah.
So gross. Okay.
Freedom number.
Let's go to the questions or comments that people sent in this week.
Okay, you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com. Or you can call our voicemail line and leave a message. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. It's Kenny from St. Louis. I thought I'd call in with a little tip. I was just listening to your description or item description discussion about what you put in there, and I agree with everything you said. I used to put a whole bunch of info. Now I just say good condition is shown which is a template. I slap it on everything. I might change it to fair or poor condition as shown, depending on the item. But one thing that I noticed that you didn't mention that I've used to great effect is things you put in the item description will show up on Google after about 90 days. You got to wait for the algorithm to scan it. So anytime I get something really unusual that will sell because of somebody's last name is on it, or it's a small town, and if I can't fit it in the actual title, I will run all that stuff down to the description. And it might take 90 days or so, but after a while, if somebody types that person's name because they were on genealogy.com and found out that that's their great uncle or whatever, they type their name into Google, your page from eBay will pop up on the front page of Google. And I think I've sold a lot of items like that. I do, groups of things that I can't get everything in the title. Like if I do a group of records, I'll do it that way. So just a little aspect that I use that I think works, and as far as I know works, because I know it works as far as Google because I've seen my own pages pop up and tried it. So something to try. Thanks for the show. Love what you do. Bye.
So this is super, super, super good advice, especially for people who sell ephemera, because I have these old Victorian business cards and like old letters from certain areas. Like, hey, this is from this town in Virginia from these two people with the last names. You're not going to be able to fit that in the title. You could put it in the title, but you're like taking up valuable room there. So I also do the same thing where like a business card. Okay, put the full address and the town, blah, blah, blah street, Boston, Mass. Here's the last name. Here's what they did. Because like he's saying, genealogy people are looking for those last names and those full names and, the address as well. So photographs, things like that. If there's like last names or, addresses on photographs, you can put it in the description and it will get picked up. You can search through eBay that way, but also he's saying through Google, which is a great resource. So
yeah, I mean, when we first started, our eBay adventure has always been like, we're just selling clothes, and
right.
then we kind of start opening up our eyes to different stuff out there. When we started to realize, oh yeah, we got this box of paper and postcards, and I remember we found a box of letters between two people from like the 40s, and I was so ready to throw it in the trash.
It was in the trash. It was at that outdoor auction. Someone had just put it aside in the trash, and I was like, I'm taking this.
But I was willing to continue on its move to the garbage, and you're the one that sold it, and someone bought them, and then it just opened my eyes to like, oh yeah, like because it's so specific,
right?
People do care about it, whether it be it's a relative or they're trying to find the history of like
that area,
or just people it's nostalgic and they want to read correspondence between two people in the war or something.
Yeah, exactly. Those were World War II.
Or like I've talked about with postcards, I was like, who cares about some little postcard from some little dumb town in the middle of Nebraska? Well, they could say the same thing about our little small town.
But we buy those.
I'm one of those people. I don't buy them as much anymore because I think I found all the cool ones, but I will buy little postcards, and someone in California will have a postcard from
because someone sent it from here
from like the early 1900s. It's so interesting.
Yeah, and so a lot of those postcards too are histories of town, because you'll look at they're always like a photograph of Main Street, and you're like, wow, that building's not here. Because
we bought a building on Main Street, that's exactly what I try and look for. Or basically, they have those photographs that were turned into
like postcards. A postcard, yeah.
I'm trying to find photographs of our town, to what it looked like at certain times, and I keep trying to find a photo of our building.
Right.
I can't find it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I would pay somebody $100.
Yeah, exactly.
$100 crisp dollar bill if I could find a photo
in cash
from when my building got built.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we do have. Let's see, I'm looking at our wall. We do have a picture of when it was a diner in the 30s, 40s, but that's not exactly when it was built. Yeah. So, but it's interesting because people do forget what it was, and you're like, what? This was a diner, and we're like turning it back into that,
and it looks like that next to it, because the building's right by a creek.
Yes.
That there creek
was a building.
The creek was bigger. I mean, sorry, the creek hadn't been right up against our building.
The land was bigger, yeah.
And that there was like a wooden structure, and I would love to know if that was like a blacksmith or something.
Like, what was it? Yeah, it's so that makes it easier for people like us,
right.
You know, if they say, you know, Main Street in this town this year, possibly this address, you're like, oh, that's such good information. So yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Kenny.
Hi, this is Keith from Vintage Classics. Hey, I'm calling to see if you guys have run into this issue before. I just called eBay customer service, and they are looking into it. They saw it in my account, logged in, and they thought it was a one-off issue. But I've been running into this for the past almost month now. On the eBay app on the iPhone, when I have the option to send offer to buyers, and I click on that, I currently have one opportunity to send an offer to a buyer. It says the price that I have. I always have buy it now, and that a lot of times buy it is either free shipping or I would do calculated shipping. For instance, this item is $19.99 and it's free shipping. It says $19.99 plus free shipping, free for buyer, you pay $0. And I'm looking at this, I'm about to send the offer, and then I look at it, it says that there is calculated shipping on this item. So I don't know why it says plus free shipping. The app's been saying that for a while now. So now when I wake up in the morning, I have all these offers to send out. I have to make sure that I'm sending the correct percentage that I want to take on the item, even though it says free shipping. Sometimes they are free shipping, sometimes it's not. I just want to make sure, see if you have run into that issue before. I've tried to Google that, and unfortunately I went on the eBay forum. I couldn't see anything on that either on their website. All right, thanks guys. Keep up the great work. Bye.
So I only send offers through the website version, like Safari on my phone, or on like Firefox on my laptop. So I actually never see that. I know that you can send offers through the app, although I think it's one by one. That's why I do it on the like desktop version, because I can just be like, select all, send offer, and I do the same amount every time. Like I don't like do it individually, like 30% on this or like 10% on this. I'm just like, this is no.
And I will say, like, Ryan, did you send someone a 30% offer on something that was already $12, you know? But it's okay. If it's $12, we just want to sell it.
Oh, I do like the lowest percentage possible,
oh,
because everything on our store is on sale right now, just technically. If it wasn't on sale, I might do it more individually. But so I actually have never seen that, because I actually don't look at it through the mobile app, the offers. So I wonder if anyone else is having that issue. Like, is anyone else seeing that weird glitch where an item that is not supposed to have free shipping is like, oh, you want to send an offer? Well, it's got free shipping.
I mean, this probably doesn't have anything to do with this, but I will say we've been getting on the forum people complaining about the eBay app. I think it's getting updated, or they're doing stuff like, for instance, it now, when you take photos through your eBay app, it stores them on your phone.
Oh, somebody said that.
And uploads it to the site as well, but people don't want it stored to their phone because it fills up all your storage.
I mean, that's a lot of photos.
Yeah. Other people were saying they weren't able to create drafts or set, on their phone. For some reason, it was giving them an error. I just think eBay's is doing a lot of changing. But
well, it's interesting. Like if eBay wanted you to be able to back up your photos on your phone, that's actually a cool option. I think that's a really good option. But you should be able to turn it off. Right? You're like, oh, some people might want that. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Turn it off. So opt out of that. Yeah. But I would assume they would have that option. I probably haven't updated my app, and I'm really bad at updating apps, so maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, don't. I mean, if it works, don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for being with us today and spending my birthday week with me.
Yeah.
I do want to thank everyone that spends their time and hears us talk about our lives, and we hope it helps you if you're trying to make some money online and buy some of your time, So,
and everyone on the forum too.
Yeah.
that's like makes my day when I'm like chatting with people on the forum.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, we're just all in this together in some point or another. So, thanks. Okay, you can check out our blog or our forum at scavengerlife.com/forum, and you can join the conversation that we have every week. You can call and leave a question or comment at...
The phone number is 540-407-8486.
And it really does help us. You know, we always start the podcast with like my kind of kooky thoughts that I think about. If you have these thoughts as well, like call us up. I mean, you know, share some ideas, because again, we really do. We have changed the way we do business on eBay because of things people have told us.
Yep.
Good ideas.
Yep.
Now, I'll often question it. I'll often be like, all right.
I'll often not want to do it, and then I do.
But if it's a good idea, it does seep in, and then we appreciate that. You know?
Absolutely.
We post an episode every Monday morning. Wednesdays, you can see our friend Steve, who posts a video about what he sold that week, which is awesome. Super cool. And you can subscribe to us, as everyone probably knows, through iTunes or YouTube or Spotify or whatever.
Or Google Play or Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Apple. No, that
all
is
those
iTunes.
Places out there. And if you want, we don't talk about this much, but it is there. We do have an archive that you can download of all of our podcasts from the past 6 years or something.
So many years.
So because some people want to have them all on their computer so then they can order them in a certain way. If not, just go online on YouTube and you can hear them all for free. But if you go to our website, you can actually buy that from us. So it's one of the few things we actually sell is this download.
Download all.
Yep. Okay, this podcast is ending in 3, 2, 1. Bye.